Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that.
See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News, as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Greetings, Boise State fans, and welcome in for a Saturday matinee of basketball here at ExtraMile Arena. The Boise State men's basketball team getting set to take on Western Oregon here at ExtraMile Arena. BJ Rains and our man Abe Jackson with you. Abe, how you doing, man?
Good. Things are good. Nice weekend so far.
Let us know, of course, if you can hear us or can't hear us. But we got a new setup, a new camera, so I think we're going to be okay. But Boise State, again, a live look. They're warming up to play Western Oregon. And, Abe, I don't think anybody today is too concerned with the final score in terms of winning the game. But obviously, after this gauntlet they've gone through the last 7 games, chance to take a little bit of a breather today and try to work on yourselves a little bit and get some things figured out.
Sure, yeah. This game, the final score really isn't in doubt. I think the Broncos are going to run through this pretty easily, but it's more about the team itself. And this game couldn't have come at a better time. It's been a really tough stretch. The Broncos are starting to play better. St. Mary's win, a really tough defensive North Texas team that the Broncos got a good comeback win at the end of the game. But there's a few players that have been struggling, too, shooting the ball, some turnovers. So I think this game could really be kind of a get-right type of game for some of the guys on the team.
What were your takeaways from the North Texas game? Obviously, North Texas, a solid defensive team. Boise State was kind of sluggish, kind of going through the motions. Very lucky there the last couple of minutes. They're down 6 with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Storm back, end the game on an 11-0 run, and it wasn't pretty, but that was a game they really had to have.
Yeah, well, so many games in the season, you're going to have some wins where you play out of your mind, and you're going to have some wins that you have to pull out at the end, and that's just how the basketball season goes. And, I don't know if they were playing sluggish. I think that North Texas is maybe one of the best defensive teams they're going to see all year. The guard-to-guard passes were denied every single time that they tried to move the ball. Very tough to get some good looks, but the Broncos did a nice job. North Texas was giving up 58 points a game. The Broncos got 69 in that game and went on an 11-0 run at the end with that press and some turnovers. Buzo had a humongous game and knocked down a giant 3 toward the end. So I think that's the type of win that maybe you don't get if you don't play that road trip against some of those tough teams in Florida and also at Clemson.
All right, several issues to discuss here in terms of things that need to improve. I don't know where to start, but let's start with the rebounding. Rebounding has always been a thing that they've prided themselves on, particularly the defensive end the last couple of years. They had a rough night against Clemson on the glass, and then last time out against North Texas, I think it was 15 offensive rebounds for North Texas. What is your concern level with the rebounding right now?
Well, they have the physical attributes to do it, so it's not that they're actually getting just out-muscled or just someone's a better athlete getting around them. So that's not the case. So that actually bodes well for the Broncos, because if that was the case, then you just say, well, we're just not as good athletes and they're jumping over us. But since that's not the case, there's definitely things on film that the coaches are seeing about block out, communication, the guards crashing a little bit harder, because Boise State has always been a really good guard rebounding team where the bigs and the forwards just completely move their guys out, and then a Shaver comes in, or Anthony Drimmick was a really good rebounder as well. Those 1 and 2 guards come in and board. So I think that some of the guards need to get down there and start rebounding, but it also starts with the big guys just holding contact and keeping their bigs off the boards.
He's Abe Jackson. My name is BJ Rains. Again, we are live here at ExtraMile Arena getting set for Boise State and Western Oregon. You can hear Abe and Bob Beeler on the call coming up bottom of the hour in about 17 minutes over on KBOI, 670 a.m. They'll have the call just after 2 o'clock here for the matinee game against 670 KBOI for Bob and Abe coming up here in just a little bit. And Abe, let's go to the turnovers. And I guess that goes hand in hand with the point guard position. We can maybe discuss those separately, but in general, 20 turnovers again. And Leon was talking about, usually you average about a point of possession over the course of a game. So you're talking 20 turnovers. That's essentially 20 points you're losing out on with all these turnovers. They had a problem with turnovers earlier in the season as well. A lot of that is coming from the guard play. Roddy Anderson, 6 turnovers, but overall, where are you with the turnovers right now?
Well, it puts a lot of pressure on your defense because when you give up that many possessions, the other team doesn't have to shoot the ball that well. If you're getting 15 to 16 more possessions than your opponent, you don't have to shoot close to 50% or even the high 40s. You can shoot in the low 40s because you have just volume attempts coming. So that's one thing that really hurts the Broncos when it comes to turnovers. And 2 is that it is your guard play. It's the guys who are supposed to be making the right decisions with the ball. But when you look at it, Roddy Anderson had 6 turnovers against North Texas, maybe one of the best perimeter defensive teams that the Broncos are going to see all year. We got to stop thinking that he's Marcus Shaver. I mean, I know that's the position that he came in to take, but Marcus was such a good player as a fifth-year senior, and this is a true sophomore, still learning the system, still his game still evolving. He's going to get much better. But the coaching staff's going to have to come up with something to maybe get the ball out of his hands a little easier, or to make an outlet pass quicker, or just more available to some of these guards to get the offense started.
Now, I just met this fellow Preston. He's here somewhere, and he commented, Abe, looking at them warm up, rebounding won't be a problem this game. Western Oregon, not the biggest or most physically imposing looking team over there at the other end of the court.
No, I sure hope so. I hope rebounding's not a problem. Boise State has the athleticism, the height, the talent. I mean, across the board on paper, this should be a high double-digit win for Boise State.
All right, let's talk about Max Rice. We've talked about him a couple games in a row, and now it seems like the proof is in the pudding. The stats are there. Obviously, he's an all-Mountain West high player, but it has not been a great 8 games to start the season here for Max Rice. What do you make of his shooting woes? And, teams know this guy can shoot. And I don't know if part of this is Marcus Shaver not being there to help create more open looks or what, but it just doesn't seem like Max is getting a lot of open looks. And then when he does, he's a little gun-shy now about letting it fly. But what do you make of where Max is at? A pretty slow start to the season for him.
Well, we've seen him kind of go up and down in his career when it comes to shooting. He was 1 out of 25, I think, a couple of years ago to start, and then his stats ended up pretty decent at the end of the year. So, and last year had a phenomenal year, but I think some of it does come down to Marcus Shaver again. And the reason being is that he was such a good creator. If I'm guarding Max Rice at the Mountain West and I have some decent athletic guards that a lot of Mountain West teams have, I would just say don't come off of him. Boise State's guards right now have not shown the ability to get by their defender with the ball. And so if they can't get by the defender with the ball, then the person guarding Max should not have to come over and help to leave him open. And so I think it's been a couple things that the Broncos are struggling to get that separation off the dribble. And then with that, that's how Max scores so much, is kickouts from penetration or post-ups in a skip pass to the other side of the court. So without being able to get the separation from the guards, I think that's kind of hurting Max's good looks.
Concerned, though, that it's going to continue, or can he get it figured out here?
Well, you're going to have to do something offensively, and I think some of that might just come down to some more motion. Instead of letting the guards kind of go one-on-one in some situations, if you get Max or Roddy or Jace moving when they catch the ball, then they already have some momentum, and the defense might be on their hip already, instead of what we saw last year with Marcus was like, hey, there's 10 seconds on the shot clock, man. You just go and create something. And then he would, a dump off to the post or a kick out to an open shooter or a make himself in the paint. So I think the Broncos, they're going to have to change some things offensively when it comes to that guard play, but I think they got the guys who can do it.
And you'd think today is hopefully a game Max can hit 4 or 5 threes and get that positive momentum going.
You'd love to see Max knock down some shots. You'd love to see Roddy have a good game. And someone else who I think has struggled in the last couple games too is Cam Martin inside. Just kind of get him going and get that touch. He had really nice touch around the hoop and the outside shots in the first few games of the season. And so getting him going this afternoon would be good.
And I was going to ask about Omar Stanley's foul trouble. I mean, he can't stay on the floor either. Neither big guy has really given him much, which maybe is contributing to the rebounding as well.
Yeah, I think so, is when you have your two big guys inside that have 4 fouls early like they did against St. Mary's, or Omar Stanley, who was in foul trouble all game against North Texas. It's going to be tough because, I mean, Omar Stanley, when he plays aggressive and big, will be one of the most imposing guys in conference in the paint. But he has to learn how to play physical without fouling. And Boise State has had some of those big guys. Mladen Armouche comes to mind. His first year, he would foul all the time. His second year, you could really see him kind of calm down and start to play physical, but without picking up all those fouls.
On the positive side, though, Chibuzo Abo looks like a legitimate star.
He does. He is the look of his jump shot looks the same, but for whatever reason, probably because they're going in, he looks so much more confident when he rises up and shoots the ball, whether it's a mid-range jumper or it's a three-pointer. And he's also shown that he can put the ball on the deck and get into the paint. So, and maybe that's the way that you create some offense off the dribble. You try and get Buzo a mismatch against their 4-man by having him run off some screens and then have him do the penetration into the paint to try and open some things up.
We've talked so much, Abe, about this gauntlet of a schedule they've played. When you're playing a non-D1 game today, probably not going to be the biggest crowd of the season, maybe not a ton of energy in the crowd today. It's a Saturday afternoon. I know we say you're going to work on themselves, and probably a B or C effort can still beat this team, but how do you avoid any kind of letdown based on the games they've played so far?
Well, I think this one comes down to a lot of the coaching staff, and we really haven't seen letdowns with Boise State when it comes to teams that they should dominate. They usually do. But I think this could be one of those games that if I was a coach, would get more upset if the execution isn't there. Yes, I understand every single person on our squad can take their person one-on-one whenever they want.
Sure.
But this is a game where you need to execute what we need to work on, because we need to have, let's just say, an inbounds play working perfectly later on in the season. Yes, it might be open for an easy layup, but that's not what we're working on tonight. We are working on perfect execution on offense and perfect execution on defense. We're probably going to win by 20-plus anyway, so let's just make sure we're running our stuff correctly.
I guess that leads me to my final question here for you, Abe. We don't have a big scouting report on Western Oregon. They did just lose by 3 points to NNU in their last game, a Division II game. This is an exhibition game for them, so they don't really care. They're getting their check. This is a game that counts for Boise State, but anything, whether maybe it's all the stuff we've talked about the last 8 minutes, but just what do you want to see today? What does Boise State need to do for this to be a successful day?
Well, I mean, they're going to win the game. We know that. And I want to see them run their offense correctly. Get out and run. I think some of the fast break points aren't quite there yet either for the Broncos this year. Get those rebounds, find a quick outlet, and put some pressure on Western Oregon in the fast break, and then run your half-court offense. Again, this is all about Boise State here, and making sure that you execute the plays that you want to run and everyone is doing what they're supposed to do, because you're going to be playing teams where if one person's not doing what they're supposed to do, then there's going to be a problem. Tonight might not be that game, but let's just see if everything can run smooth.
All right, appreciate it. We'll see you in about 10 minutes over with Bob Beeler, 670 KBOI. We appreciate you as always, Abe. Have a good call, and then we'll do it again on Tuesday.
All right, sounds good.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it,
DJ.
Abe. There he is, Abe Jackson. Appreciate him for joining us again. Boise State getting set to take on Western Oregon here at ExtraMile Arena. Abe Jackson, we appreciate his appearance on the pregame show. If you're in the arena, let us know. If you're watching the game, let us know where you're watching from. We're going to hear from Leon Rice here in a little bit. We got some time here. I know this isn't the most exciting game here, but so may not be the longest show of all time, but we'll show you some warm-ups, and we'll talk Boise State basketball as we get you set again. The Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. We're in the Cutwater Studios on the road, the mobile Cutwater Studios today. Make sure you get one of their more than 35 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. Pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. We got a early Christmas with my wife's family tonight due to some scheduling conflicts. So, I've got a couple 4-packs of Cutwater in the back seat to take over there for this evening. I think I'll be trying the pineapple margaritas. Got some of the Long Island iced teas as well. So looking forward to a fun evening after Boise State. Hopefully, they don't really, it's interesting because I don't think we're worried about them losing this game, but you just want to see them play well. You want to see Max Rice start hitting some shots. You want to see some of these guys really get going. You want to see, the point guards not combined for 7 turnovers. Roddy Anderson, 6 turnovers in the last game. You really want to see the Broncos start to figure some things out here as they get set for what's going to be a much tougher schedule. This really is a 3-game stretch, though. You got 3 games here where, Boise State can kind of get themselves right and work on some things. You got that Washington State game coming up. That's really the big game where that's the next big game where you need to be ready to go. So, again, want to thank a couple of our sponsors real quick. Keep the comments coming, the questions, the score predictions. We'll get to those here shortly. I mentioned Cutwater Spirits, more than 35 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. All your painting needs, interior, exterior of your home, any siding, touch-ups, the concrete coatings for the garage, the basement, the back patio. They can do industrial, commercial, you name it. Check them out. The official paint and coatings company at Boise State Athletics is roepaint.com. Our man Tyson Dagenhart, Card Control. Have control of your card on and off the court. From Idaho Central Credit Union, we appreciate ICCU for their support of Bronco Nation News. Check them out. There's a branch pretty much on every corner. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Ball Ventures, Alquist, Tommy Alquist. We appreciate our friend Tommy Alquist and BVA. Check them out, bvadev.com. They're Idaho's developer. So if you're looking for some new space, you need a developer, looking to rent a spot, make sure you check them out, bvadev.com. And we appreciate our friends at BVA and Ball Ventures, Alquist. Get out to Topgolf. We're looking to do our B&N corporate company holiday party out at Topgolf. Perfect spot with all the private rooms and things they have. So check them out, bvadev.com. And, of course, Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. They're donating money to the Boise State Student Scholarships. They're helping out the local community. And, of course, their breakfast. I mean, they do so many different things. They can give you a job if you need it and pay you the next day. They're donating money to Boise State, but, of course, the food is their number one product, and the breakfast. I heard so many positive remarks from the bus trip down to Vegas about the breakfast quesadillas and things. So check them out, TacoBellWorks.com for more information. And, again, thank you to SON Management, the Nicolason family. Check them out, Taco Bell. And, of course, our title sponsor here of the Lithia Ford of Boise, a pregame show, is Lithia Ford. You see Paige Barsh there. They got the NIL deals going. Paige Barsh, Riley Smith, the football team. LithiaFordBoise.com. Check out that full inventory of vehicles. You can check them out at LithiaFordBoise.com, and they'll make you an offer on the spot for a used vehicle. If you're looking to sell your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from them, they'll make you a cash offer on the spot at LithiaFordBoise.com. And our last major sponsor, I want to make sure I thank the Blue and Orange Store. Check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. They've got the Mountain West Championship gear. That's right, the championship shirts and hats that you saw the team wearing after winning that championship game. They've got that gear for you. Check them out, theblueandorangestore.com for all of your championship gear. And they got LA Bowl stuff as well. So check them out. They got the LA Bowl stuff as well. I see the Draper family walking by. There's Mr. Draper. There's the Draper family there. You can see him waving there. We always appreciate the Draper family. They come by and hang out with us, and we're always very appreciative of them for coming to all the events in Las Vegas and the various spots. So you see Boise State is heading back into the locker room. You see Western Oregon continuing to get some shots up there. Somebody mentioned Shohei Ohtani. I thought that was a typo when I saw the post, and I went and looked. $700 million for Shohei Ohtani. That is absolutely crazy. That's more than like $50 million a year. I mean, that is unbelievable. $500 million would be a 10-year deal for $50 million. If he's getting 10 years for $700, that's like, what, $70 million a year? That is unbelievable that the LA Dodgers can pay that and that they signed that deal. That is just unbelievable. We got a question here about James Ferguson Reynolds. That is after the bowl game. He is heading home after the bowl game on the 17th, so he'll fly home from LA to Australia. Actually, he may go home. I don't know, but he is flying home to Australia after the bowl game for a couple of weeks for Christmas, and then that's when he will be able to do that. So he posted that, but no, he is here. They have practice today. We're actually going to have some interviews after the basketball game. Actually, after we do the basketball interviews, we'll have some football interviews today as well. And no, he did not go home. Let's see, is the bus going to L.A.? No bus trip to L.A. Didn't have enough time to set that up, but we may try to set up something for the Utah State basketball game or maybe the Reno basketball game, but Utah State's a little later in the season. Might have enough time to pull that one off. We will see. Lots of deferrals, though. Yeah, I haven't seen the full contract there, but you see a nice crowd starting to file in. Again, Boise State, Western Oregon. obviously, a chance for Boise State to work on some things, figure some things out, and they really need it. Let's be honest. Whether it's the rebounding, the turnovers, Roddy Anderson needs to play a little better today. But for me, the number one thing is Max Rice. You got to get Max Rice going. Max Rice has to hit some shots today. Let's go 4 threes for Max Rice. Can we get a 4 for 7 from Max Rice for 3 today? I mean, that would certainly be nice to get him going. But, hey, Leon Rice talked to the media as well. Let's hear the opening statement yesterday. Leon Rice, the gauntlet they've played the last couple of weeks, and how they continue to get better here during this next stretch. Here's your head coach, Leon Rice, meeting with the media.
Obviously, you're not looking past anybody. The games count. There, you got to focus on the opponents too. But what do you hope on your side to accomplish these next 10 days?
Well, first of all, looking backwards a little bit, we went through a heck of a run, and to be able to find a way to win that last game we were in with all the things that we were up against and all the way, when I look back on the film, we were sluggish. And credit to North Texas, they make you look that way. But I've seen us at practice, and I've seen us, on film in that game, and I'm like, wow, we've had a lot of practices where we're going way harder. I think we were a little, I think we all woke up Wednesday and we're like, whew, got through a long, long stretch of, you'd finish one game and you'd go to bed that night, and the next huge game was coming, and that takes its toll, especially this early in the season when you're maybe not. You look at a lot of these teams; they'll play a good team, then they'll play a couple ones that they're can really focus on themselves, and then I think that we're one of the only teams in the country that's done it game after game after game after game for 7 straight. But then when you look at like North Texas, there's a reason that team, they had the second most road wins in the last 3 years than any other team in the whole country, and you see why, the way they defend, the way they rebound. And so what a good test for us to pass. Now, we didn't pass it with straight A's, but you got the most important thing done. You got the job done and won the game in a game that could have went the other way because of the way North Texas played and how tough they were, and we had to find a way to win it. And that's a great quality to have in a team. And when we look at the film and we look at where we are now, I just feel like there's so much room for improvement, which is exciting. Because, I'm watching other teams and I'm like, man, if I was coaching that team, I'm not sure how much you could get them better. Some teams that are winning a lot of games right now, and they know their teams better than I do. But when I look at us, I'm like, man, I see a ton of ways that we can get better. And, for the guys, sometimes they feel like they're a long ways off, but they're not as far off as they think. And just by correcting a couple things, we can make a 10 to 20% jump. Every turnover equals at least a point, sometimes even more, because sometimes those turnovers lead to a fast break. But, you average somewhere close to a point of possession, and you take 10 of those off, and now you're 10 points better just by doing that. And some of them are just, just learning how not to be careless with the ball and how to value it and how to make, the art of the simple play. And, I asked my guys who the best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL were. Tom Brady's name comes up, but those guys have the ability to make the simple play, repeated. And, then the ones you see on TV are the tough plays that they're good enough to make. And so people think that that's what they made their living on. Like Drew Brees, he threw 10,000 5-yard passes, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So just maybe teaching these guys the value of that, the repeatable skills of, okay, instead of those really, really tough plays that you're trying to make, if we make, easy play, we got great shots and we take care of the ball better. So it doesn't mean you're less aggressive. You're still aggressive and you're still on the attack, but just understanding how to minimize those a little bit. And we usually get a lot better at that, and that's something we have to be able to do to compete in this league.
What's been the bigger, concern or surprise or more alarming, the rebounding issues or the turnovers?
I think that's 1A and 1B, But the turnovers hasn't been as consistent, The rebounding is, we've played really good rebounding teams when you look at all of them. So that's a factor. But good teams expose your weaknesses and expose, not that I don't believe it's going to be a weakness for us, but expose areas that okay, we got to make a big jump here. And, so that helps you if you can get better at it. And I think the amount of film we've watched with these guys, the amount of emphasis it's going to get, and the figuring out which guys will do it, because it's important to me. And I always tell them the best way I can make us a better rebounding team is play some guys that'll go rebound. So, it's a good way for guys to get on the court if they'll go get rebounds. And, and each team's so different because, when you look at our teams in the past, we've had the nice mix of, Tyson does his job every time with blocking out and doing that, but he's not a go-get-it guy. So Tyson matched with Naj is kind of a perfect match. And we would always do it that way. Like we'd put Tyson on there, one of their better rebounds, kind of take him out. It was the same with Mladen. He would do his job every time and take their big out of the play, and then somebody else can come get it. And that's Shaver was great at it. One of the best rebounding guards. He would come get it. Roddy's got that ability to do that. He's got to come get more. Jace got to come get more. But it's, we got to find some guys that are going to come get it instead of, hey, we're all blocking out, but nobody's going to get in the ball as much. So there's, but it's also, Omar's been in just so much foul trouble last game. He's one of our best go-get-it guys. So, those are all factored in too. And Cam can be a better rebounder, and, we got a lot of guys that can go get more.
There he is, Leon Rice, again, meeting with the media yesterday. And, again, the final score really not a huge, question in terms of whether or not Boise State's going to win this game. But you'd like to see him win by 25, 30 points, sure. I mean, I think 31's a fair line for today. You'd like to see him get things going. Is it 81-50? Is that good? Or 85-54, something like that? I mean, you'd like to see Max Rice get going. That's number one for me. I need Max Rice to hit 3, 4, 5 threes today. And then you need to see some of these other areas like the turnovers and the rebounding both get better. You can't have 20 turnovers against a non-D1 team. You can't have some of the issues you've had rebounding the ball against a team where they've got like dudes that are starting that are like 6'2". I mean, this is going to be one of the smaller teams Boise State plays. They're not a Division I team. This should not be a game. But again, if you're Boise State, you want to see some things go right in this game to make you feel like, again, we're not going to say, oh, they're back. They won by 30. They had 5 turnovers. They hit 6 threes. Like, this team's going to win a championship. Like, no, we're not going to say that after the game. We're going to, realize that, hey, they're playing a non-D1 team, but you have to do what you're supposed to do, and you have to win some of these games that, you're supposed to win. And this is a game where it's a get-right game. You want to figure some things out. You're able to sneak by North Texas without playing very well. You want to get R.J. Keene going. You want to get Jace Whiting going, Andrew Meadow. You want to get some of these guys on the bench going as well. So I think that this is certainly a game for Boise State where you want to get right, get things going, and get some confidence. The next 3 games are going to get progressively harder. You've got this game, then you've got one of the worst Division I teams on Tuesday, and then Cal State Fullerton's a middle of the pack game they're still 180 at Ken Palm coming up on a week from Sunday, a week from tomorrow. So these 3 games are really where you got to figure things out before you go up to Spokane to play Washington State. That's the next kind of big game that they really need to win. If you can beat them and go 10-3 in non-con and beat Utah Valley, I mean, that's a pretty good non-con to be 10-3 based on who they've played. So got to win these next 3 games, got to figure some things out and get right, and then obviously have to, turn that into some more wins, in the games after that against Washington State and Utah Valley before you start conference play. So Roddy Anderson development time, according to Kareem the Dream. Yeah, this is 3 games where Roddy Anderson certainly could get going and get some confidence going for him. Jace Whiting. I mean, a lot of these guys, you could look at every single player on this team, their game, and find something where they could get better at. And these 3 games are a nice opportunity for that. So let's get Max Rice some open looks. Let's have him not be, gun shy. Let's see him let it fly and hit some shots. And then let's see what happens with some of the other guys as well. You'd like to see, as Abe Jackson said earlier in the show, you want to get Cam Martin going a little bit. Omar Stanley, you want to keep him out of foul trouble. Buzo and Tyson kind of just keep doing what they're doing. They're both, playing at a very high level right now. So I think that here come the officials. We got Tommy Nunez in the house. Tommy Nunez was the guy that's putting. You can't see him right now. He was involved in the Malice at the Palace. He was an NBA referee, and Tommy Nunez, you can't see him yet. He's going to be the 3rd referee walking by. The 2nd referee's walking by now. Oh, he's walking over to the scorer's table. He must be the head official today. But Tommy Nunez, when you watch the right when the Malice in the Palace starts and the referee is trying to hold him back, that's Tommy Nunez, and he's the lead official for today's game. Small fact for you there for no and tell. So we'll see what happens today. Again, this is a nice test for Boise State to get things right. It's not a test on whether they're going to win the game, but it's a test on how can they play when they're the much better team. How quickly can they, do what they need to do to win the game, and how much can they get some bench guys involved and just overall play well today. Don't forget about Bronco Brew Coffee. BroncoBrew.coffee is the website. Check them out, BroncoBrew.coffee. Every sip, you're helping Boise State Athletics, NIL money. They can send some money to the athletes themselves. Couple bucks goes to each athlete. If you pick the one you want, they also have the QB1 fund on there where the money goes into a fund to attract a star athlete, quarterback, running back, so be it. So BroncoBrew.coffee, roasted to order coffee. It's not ordered. It's not roasted until you ordered it. It's fresh and it's delicious. Check it out, BroncoBrew.coffee. You need a job? How about the transportation compliance service? Get into the trucking industry. Jeff Miner and his staff do a tremendous job. They're signing up new folks every day. Transcomservice.com. Check them out. If you need a job, it's a booming industry right now. Transcomservice.com can help you with all the permits and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Check them out, Transcomservice.com. Matt Bauscher Real Estate. Matt called me the other day during the game to ask me what the ref's name was so he could yell at him. You know he's a big BSU fan. Support him. Help him out. Again, BauscherRealEstate.com. The number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and his team. No home is too big or too small. Check them out. BauscherRealEstate.com. Hopefully you'll support Matt and Bauscher Real Estate. And, of course, Ridley's Family Markets as well. ShopRidleys.com. 13 locations across the state of Idaho. They got that Kuna location that we like going to. And there's a new location opening up. American Falls. Anyone that lives in American Falls, they now have a location open. Their newest location is open in American Falls. Check them out, Ridley's Family Markets. And we're appreciative of Mark Ridley and Ridley's for their support of Bronco Nation News. So check out all their locations, but the new one in American Falls is now open as well. Boise State on the floor warming up. By the way, I had Lean Feast for lunch today. Awesome. Go check it out. Healthy eating. You will not be disappointed. Healthy eating. I had steak and shrimp for lunch. Took me 2 minutes after I got back from the gym. And it was quick and it was easy and it was delicious. Leanfeast.com. I think now it's just leanfeastmeridian.com. Check them out. You can go visit them on Eagle Road as well. Healthy eating. They're taking care of Tyson Degenhart, Ashton Genty. They can take care of you as well at Lean Feast. And I saw that they got some deals going on at Timberstone. Check them out. Timberstone Golf Course. Play Timberstone.com. Weather's still warm enough to book your tee time. They got the simulators going. Tad's working on the lessons. So get out there and check them out at playtimberstone.com. Getting back here live. Nice crowd filing in. I don't expect this to be the biggest crowd of the year, but you got a nice crowd still dialing in here for Boise State and Western Oregon. Should be a nice contest today. And again, this is not a game you're worried about the final score. Really, heck, it shouldn't be. But this is a game where you want to see Boise State get right, get some things figured out, and really focus. I see over there on the Mountain West Network, KTVB Plus, is going to be Jay Tust again on the call. You got Nick Duncan over there as well. Tip-off is at 2 p.m., so coming up here in about 17 minutes. Stu says it's a get-right game for Max and Roddy. It would nice to be Scylla get some time today. You'd like to see Sam Winter score in this game. If Sam Winter and Vince Behringer can score in this game, Boise State is in a pretty good place, and that's kind of the goal, to get these walk-ons some playing time. And you'd love to win this one 91-50 or something and just blow them out and get some confidence and feel good about things. I think you need to win by at least 25 to be feeling really, really good about this. So appreciate all you guys for checking us out. We'll be back with the postgame show. Lithia Ford of Boise postgame show coming up after the game. And again, we'll have interviews with Coach Rice, some players. It's going to be a little later than usual, heads up, because we're doing football interviews right after Leon talks. So there will be football interviews today that we're going to do before we start the postgame show. But we'll have a full postgame show. Bronco Nation News, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter channels. So check us out after the game. We'll have reactions, highlights, interviews, and thoughts. Did Max Rice get going? Did some of the other things, the turnovers come down? Did the rebounding get better? And is Boise State moving in the right direction? We'll discuss on the postgame show. So appreciate all you guys for checking us out. Go subscribe. BroncoNationNews.com. We'd love to have you. $50 for a full year using that promo code BNN50 deal. Exclusive articles, exclusive content. And I announced it. I already announced it on social media, but Monday night, we got our special show coming up on Monday night. Brad Bedell, Winston Venable, Kent Riddle, and myself. LA Bowl preview, Boise State football talk, 8 p.m. on Monday, and this is exclusive for subscribers. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll send you a private link on Monday to join us for our show on Monday night. So check it out, Monday night, 8 p.m., subscriber only on the YouTube link, the private link coming to your email. If you don't have the email by like noon on Monday and you're a subscriber, email me and I'll make sure you have it in time, because it is going to be a private YouTube link that not everyone will be able to access. So subscribe now. We'd love to have you. You're in the mix for this. You're also in the mix for the private jet trip to San Diego. All yearly subscribers have a chance to win a trip to San Diego for the final regular season game of the season, thanks to Ridley's Family Markets, Bauscher Real Estate, the Blue and Orange Store, and Cutwater Spirits. So you want to ride on a private jet and go see some basketball at the end of the year? Sign up for a yearly subscription, and you'll be in the mix to win that there. So, again, appreciate everybody for checking us out. We're 37 minutes in. They're getting ready for the national anthem. We're going to get off here and get ready for tip-off. Tip-off in about 15 minutes, Boise State and Western Oregon. And, again, join us about 45 minutes to an hour after the game. Full post-game show. Jaden Finch is here. We'll have highlights. We'll have reaction. Full post-game show coming up after the game. Enjoy it, folks. We'll talk to you soon. Bronco Nation News Live. Go tell your friends. BroncoNationNews.com.